Hey guys, if you're nervous about being behind financially and not sure if you'll have enough money to retire comfortably, drop me a comment below and let me know why you think you're behind financially. Now in this video, I'm going to share 6 things that you need to be seriously thinking about and doing if you don't want to be left behind in your 40s and early 50s. But you have to do these things right now, because time is of essence when you get to your 40s or late 40s. Hey guys, your 20s and 30s are super important for building wealth, but your 40s, guys, are critical to the end result of whether or not you're gonna live a comfortable life in retirement or not. Your 40s is gonna let you know whether or not you're gonna have to work until you're 75 or 80 years old, or if you can maybe stop working at the age of 59. Depending on what study you read, the average retirement age in America is between the ages of 61 and 64. That means that at age 40, guys, you still have 20 plus years to go. Your 40s is when your kids are grown and maybe almost gone out of the house, and it's time for you to get your life back and focus more intently on your personal finances. So what should you have saved and invested by the age of 40? Well, according to Fidelity and other sources, by age 30, you should aim to have at least 1 time of your annual salary saved and invested. By age 40, you should be aiming to have 3 times your annual salary saved and invested. So if you're 40 years old and you make $60,000 a year, you ought to have $180,000 saved and invested by age 40. Now, by age 50, Fidelity says you ought to have at least 6 times your annual salary saved and invested. And the study goes on to say that by age 60, you ought to have at least 8 times of your annual salary at age 60 saved and invested. Now, let's go back and concentrate on age 40. If you're just over 40 years old and you currently don't have 3 times your annual salary saved and invested, we've got to figure out how to get you there. Now, let me quickly run through these 6 things that you need to be doing to make sure that you're taking full advantage of those high earning years in your 40s. And make sure you don't get behind any further and you're able to catch up. The first thing is this: you gotta pay yourself first, right? I know it sounds cliche-ish, but the best person who's gonna take care of the old you is the young you. And you gotta have that money by investing in yourself first now. Starting at age 40, if you haven't already done it, that's a great time to start. It ain't too late. Make sure you're getting the 401k match at your job, right? That's free money. And make sure you're doing some outside investing. You have a brokerage account where you're putting a little extra money in. Hopefully you can put up to 15 to 20% of your income into investments, whether that be the 401k only, or it's the 401k with a combination of outside brokerage, or your job doesn't offer a 401k match, and so you do all of your investing at Fidelity or Vanguard or Charles Schwab, wherever you go. Put as much money as you can towards investing for your future. Stretch yourself. Yeah, I know after age 40, you got less time for the money to compound, but it's still plenty of time, guys, for you to actually build some wealth. And every time you get a raise or a bonus, invest more of your money. Now, number 2, make sure you have an emergency fund taken care of, right? You got to have a little money put away to the side in case things go wrong, because listen, things will go wrong. So have an emergency fund and work your emergency savings so that you have 3 to 6 months or more of your monthly needs saved up. And you should be able to get to that money quickly. The other thing is, guys, you can put it in a high yield savings account so that you can get a little bit more extra bang for your buck, somewhere where you're getting a little bit of interest too. Number 3 is make sure you have a debt-free plan, some type of plan to make sure that you can get out of debt and therefore have more money to invest for your future. And since we're talking about debt, guys, make sure you commit to not taking on new debt on anything that's going down in value. You need assets when you get 40 plus, not liabilities. So you want to work on building up your asset side of the equation by investing in things that's going up in value, not things that's going down in value. Guys, if you're getting anything out of this video, do me a favor and smash that like button below. Also, please share this video with your friends, your family, and your network of people. And don't forget to drop that comment below. I want to hear from you. And if you're not a subscriber to this channel, please consider subscribing to my channel. Now, let's get back to the video. Now, the 4th thing you got to do to make sure you don't get left behind in your 40s is you have to consider an estate plan, right? Why? Because you want to tell your money what to do when you're no longer here. I mean, you're building up wealth. And if you're building up wealth, that means when you pass away, you've got to be able to pass that wealth on to someone else. And it's better for you to tell your money what to do than let the state tell your money what to do. That's the money that you worked hard for. So you want to avoid probate, which is where the state goes out and appoints an executor or some type of representative who's going to authenticate and manage your estate and tell your estate what to do, where to go, etc. You don't want that. You want to avoid that, right? When it comes to probate, there's no privacy. There's usually high fees that are associated with it. And of course, you have the potential for family conflicts, and it's time consuming, right? Why not just have an estate plan right now that you can dictate and tell what to do? It's money well spent, and you can avoid all that probate by just having an estate plan. Now, number 5 is make sure you have life insurance intact that's not associated with your job. You may lose your job at the age of 48, 49, 52, right? You may change jobs and forget to actually get your life insurance intact. Listen, a lot of things can happen. To be safe, make sure you have life insurance that is not attached to your job, right? And I like the type of life insurance that's term life insurance so that you're incentivized to work towards being self-insured one day. You can get a 15-year term, a 20-year term, but let me say this. No matter what type of insurance you get, some insurance is better than no insurance. I just prefer the type of insurance that costs less on a monthly basis and it's not tied to any type of investing. Now, the 6th thing you got to do to make sure you don't get left behind in your 40s is to buy a house, guys, and consider strongly paying that house off in 15 years. Putting a 15-year mortgage on the house instead of a 30-year mortgage. Now, a 15-year mortgage, guys, is not a bad thing when you're 40 years old and you're looking to build some wealth for later down the road. Spending a decade after age 40 paying off your home can help ensure that you don't go into your late 50s and early 60s and 70s with a house payment, a mortgage payment. Sure, you still have to pay your taxes and insurance. I get all that. But I just don't like seeing a 45 or 50-year-old person, 60-year-old person going out and getting a 30-year mortgage. I prefer a 15-year mortgage so that in 15 years, you have a few extra choices with what you can do with that mortgage, with that paid for home. You can stay there, you can sell it, you've just built up so much more equity if you put it on a 15-year note and you're in your 40s that you can do a lot more with it and you just have more possibilities. Look, having a paid for home when you're 55, 65 years old, 70 years old, it can be the difference between your monthly expenses being $6,000 a month or $2,500 a month. That's a huge difference, guys. I want you to start thinking about your monthly expenses when you get older. That way you can retire sooner and you won't be forced to work to pay for a home. Just something to think about, guys. Hey guys, if you started investing later on in life, don't be discouraged. There's still time to begin taking a more aggressive approach to help you catch up. Look, those guidelines that I put up here earlier about how much money you should have invested at what age are just guidelines. If you aren't there yet, don't let it bother you, right? You got to stop tripping over spilled milk. That's over. Everybody makes mistakes. Now you got to get back in the game of wealth building. Look, you can build wealth in your 40s and older. You don't have to get left behind, but you got to do these things right now, starting today. You've got to begin to ask yourself this one question. What is the lifestyle that I want to live in my 60s and my 70s and beyond? Once you know that, you got to put that plan in place starting now. Don't forget to drop me that comment, guys. Please share this video and smash the like button for me. And guys, if you're not sure if you can get out of debt and you need a little bit of motivation to get rid of some of your debt or all of your debt, I got a great video that I want you to check out that discusses 4 very serious reasons everyone over the age of 40 should be getting out of debt as soon as possible. You can check that video out right here next. Peace.